All right, this message is going to be for who it's meant to be for. And if you don't resonate with it, just leave it. But I'm speaking about, you having to be in isolation, or you having to basically give yourself your own flowers in life. Whether it was your whole life or certain parts of your life, you had to be isolated. You had to be overlooked. You had to be an outcast. And you had to give yourself your own flowers. You had to find your worthiness within yourself, because this is part of your path. And I'm saying this because part of this path was for you to not need validation from other people. And we live in a world of social media. We live in a world where people's egos are bigger than, their bank accounts. Essentially we live in an egotistical world where people need false validation from others, whether it's social media, whether it's surrounding themselves with people who have to give them, tell them who they are. But for you, the universe, the divine, whatever you want to call it, isolated you or outcasted you, 1:44 on the clock when I looked at that, so you know who you are, outcasted you for a reason and made you have to see yourself, made you have to give yourself your own validation and your own flowers. Because when you came back into, essentially back into the world from this isolation and from being outcasted, when you come back into the world, you had to be so strong within yourself and who you are that whether somebody gives you your flowers or not, it doesn't affect you, because you give that to you. And that is so powerful. A true king, a true queen, they don't need somebody to tell them who they are and how great they are, because they just embody it. They just know who they are. And that was part of your path too. That was the initiation, was you had to know yourself so much that when you come back into, or when you become in the spotlight, the criticism, whether positive or negative, wouldn't move you, wouldn't affect you at all. And that is such a powerful thing. You know how many people need that validation from the exterior world? Most people. So this was part of the initiation of your path. So give yourself some credit, because that is not easy. That is not easy to not need people to tell you who you are or how great you are. Especially when you had people tell you how great you weren't, how not amazing you were. And you had people tell you the opposite of what they, what was actually true. So you going and digging deep within yourself and finding the true worth from the soul and not the ego is a powerful thing. And this was all part of the past. So remember that.